Now, I must admit, there is a morbid curiosity that I have as to how they're going to continue The Last of Us show after they've killed off the main character of it. And honestly, episode 3 is not off to a good start. I can tell you that this episode was so boring, it felt like it was 3 hours long. The show in general feels extremely boring, aside from the little pieces of action scenes that we get sprinkled in, which are not even fully fleshed out because they make no sense, even though they are very entertaining. And an example of this is the Battle of Hardhome. Whoops, sorry. The episode where the clickers raid the Jackson settlement.
Man, you know what? I'm tired of you! I'm tired of this shit!
But even with that, it's so few and far between, and the writing is so bland otherwise, that I think that most people aren't going to want to stick around for this. Most of the general audience isn't going to want to do that. And what doesn't help is when we get brain dead takes by articles or media outlets like this that feel as though they're written by someone who was employed off of Fiverr. But don't worry, the whole commentary for that episode is going to be in another video. So if this one shows up first on the playlist, just skip to the next one if you're in the future. Because I am going to pick apart everything from the point of view as a consumer and a regular general audience member, what I didn't like about it. And I usually think that something is successfully entertaining if what you liked about it overshadows its flaws. This was just all flaws, I'm sorry. What I want to do though is ask you guys a question. I mean, it's not like you guys can answer me, but I want you to think about it. If I sold you a beverage and you took the time to drink it and you paid for it, or paid for the access to come into my store to try it, and you tried it and it tastes like rhino piss, then you go out and tell other people, yeah, I like the drink that Allie made, but the second one, I don't know what was going on with that. That thing tastes like rhino piss. How would you feel if I were to come out and get all my business owner friends and shame you through the streets shouting from the rooftops, yo, that bitch ass Richard over there is a bigot. Even though he liked all my other stuff and I've seen him like drinks from other people's stores and even mine because he didn't like the specific drink because he claimed it tastes bitter, it must mean he doesn't like women. He's a bigot. Because that's the only thing that it could be. That's the only reason why you wouldn't like my drink. Oh, wait. Most of the neighborhood doesn't like it either? It's not the drink that's the problem. All of you have the problem. Your palates are fried. Wait, you still like the original drink that I made? So what? You're still a bigot. If I had that reaction as someone who was a business owner, you'd probably want to stone me in the streets. That would be high-level narcissism and a surefire way to get people to turn off from my business and not even support my store or anything else in it, despite whether or not they liked it in the first place. That's what articles like this and how people with barely 2 brain cells to rub together in their freaking heads are behaving towards the general audience. See, Collider thinks that people who didn't like The Last of Us Season 2 or some of the episodes in it deserve to have their internet privileges revoked. They say it's a time, he claims, the writer, it's about time to revoke some people's internet privileges. Anybody who targets minorities and women online needs to check themselves anyway. Despite the efforts of certain platforms to prevent review bombing, trolls are still getting away with it.
You're not just wrong, you're stupid. Now wait just a minute. And you're ugly, just like your mum.
Isn't it crazy how they always want to censor us? If we don't like something, they claim we're trolls and even start suggesting that we should not have a voice or be on the internet. Maybe you should have your internet privileges revoked because you clearly haven't learned a damn thing about how the internet works. Every time someone like you tries to censor people because they don't blindly clap like seals for garbage, it backfires really hard. And it always will. People don't like being silenced. We're a vocal species. And most normal people don't like being told what they're allowed to think. And the more you try to shove your shallow, weird-ass narratives down people's throats, the more that people are going to turn on you. That outrage that you're trying to manufacture, it's going to end up blowing up in your face. And honestly, at the rate that these people and these corporations are going, I'm not going to be surprised if their little companies go bankrupt within a few years. Because history has shown that it's not on the side of people like you who are out there embarrassing yourselves. And it's so ridiculous to the point where I think it's rage bait. Like, it has to be, because people that write articles like this are a special kind of stupid. So down here it says, The Last of Us 2 holds a must-watch 81 over 100 or 81% on the aggregator platform, but its user rating is languished at 4.4. One glance at the user reviews reveals that most detractors seem to be repeating the issues they had with the source video game. The negativity is being targeted at stars Bella Ramsey and Caitlin Dever, whatever, while Pedro Pascal, whose character Joel, spoiler alert, was killed in the second episode, seems to be doing just fine. My question is, why the hell would we care about the critic score? You mean the people who are getting deep-throated by the very corporations they're shilling for? Why are we going to care about what they have to say? They're not being honest. And then this person's all like, oh, well, they're targeting them because they're women. How do you know that? Are you inside their brains? Most of what I've seen, these people are pissed off because those two characters aren't the characters who got killed off for no freaking reason, and one of them killed off one of the main characters, and the other one is just insufferable. Nobody likes that character. You killed off the lead character, who was the emotional core of the show, and left us with these subpar characters and people who are less talented actors than Pedro. You blew up the entire theme and the plot of the story, and now you want people to praise you because, oh, it was bold that they killed him. No. Everybody was on board that it was stupid and lazy, and it pissed people off because we're not freaking stupid. Now, if people are attacking the actors in real life, I don't agree with that. And people should be able to distinguish fiction from reality. You want to make fun of the characters within the universe? Sure, do that. But you don't need to go to their platforms and whatever and personally attack the actors. That's just weird. Unless the actors are doing something to attack the audience, right? I can understand why the audience would clap back like Rachel Zegler did. But don't sit there and pretend as though you don't know why people are actually angry and as if they don't deserve to be upset about the way the show's gone. If you're sucking the bloated titties of the showrunners or the people in charge of this lack of a production, then just say so. Never mind. You don't have to say jack, because we can all clearly see that. Stop gaslighting the viewers and pretending it's all just gamers mad at women. Because I'm pretty sure that a huge swath of this audience that's watching the show has never played the game, and there are other people who legitimately didn't even know the game of this existed. And I know this is going to come as a shock to these freaking misogynist people, but a lot of those people are women. Hello? I know my voice is annoying, but I am a woman. A lot of them also are feminists. You can't say something like this and really, honest to God, think that every single person is mad at women and that's why they're mad about the lead character of a show being killed off, you fucking dumbass. No matter how much you spell it out, no matter how much we, collectively, because it's a lot of us, spell it out for these people, it's like they lack the very basic human ability to comprehend. And if you're that fucking stupid, then own that. Or at least stop writing these weak-ass think pieces that act like you're too dumb to understand the real reason audiences are disappointed. And while we're at it, are you the one paying my streaming subscriptions? Are you footing the internet bill? No? Then shut the fuck up. You don't get to tell people how to feel about a show they spent their own money and or time on. You don't get to cry, the trolls, just because a lot of people think that your precious show is dog shit. Just because you're letting the showrunner or someone from the production team bang your wife while you watch them from the corner while wearing your wife's panties you got off Temu doesn't mean you have to simp for them in real life. You're already getting paid just watching them go at it. It's not that serious. I'm sure they'll let you continue sitting and watch regardless. So just continue doing what you're good at, which is to sit in the corner and let people have their fun. Literally. I swear some of these people, like these freaking imbeciles, they write like sock puppets with someone's hand so far up their ass that their mouth can only move the way the hand allows it to. What's next? Let's see this next paragraph. Lord have mercy. Oh God. I feel like I'm losing brain cells. All right, let's hear. I'm not even gonna read this whole thing because this is the whole tone that's set for the article, first of all. Review bombing isn't an unusual phenomenon. By the way, there's also review bombing with positive reviews too, just so you know. But anyway, especially in these divided times that you're contributing to. But anyway, famously, the all-female Ghostbusters reboot was targeted so viciously by the self-appointed gatekeepers of the franchise that its box office performance was affected. In 2019, Rotten Tomatoes was forced to take measures to prevent review bombing when certain folks targeted Brie Larson for making political statements ahead of the release of Captain Marvel. Funny how they put that in. And I'm glad that they were at least honest with that, but you forgot, like, you didn't even consider the whole reason why people were upset about that. If that's what they were really doing, why was the actor going out when she was supposed to be promoting the movie and creating division amongst the audience members? They don't get accountability for that, but the audience are at fault. Completely 100%. The ones that are supposed to be giving money to these fucking people that are saying shit about them or attacking them. Interesting. Most recently, the stars of The Little Mermaid and Snow White remakes were also unfairly, really, maybe The Little Mermaid star, but Rachel Zegler, unfairly, really? You need to fact check your shit before you start writing these articles. Unfairly targeted by trolls who clench their fists against the perceived progressive politics of those movies. This person doesn't know what they're talking about. It's very clear they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. The Last of Us, the detractors seem to be furious at Joel's death at the hands of Abby Devers' character. Oh my God, you think? Here's a wild concept, which is probably too big for your brain to process or handle. Sometimes a show or a movie or even a game is just bad. Just like your idea of what makes a good article. It's not that deep. In my opinion, and I know this is, it's triggering to some people, the show was boring. It's emotionally hollow. It's badly written compared to the first season. This season is horrible so far. But sure, let's pretend that the only reason people are dropping like flies along with the ratings is because trolls hate women. Because they didn't exist in the first season, right? Even though that season was rated well with the users, and in this one, they're not. That's the real reason. So what happened with the first season? This is the stupidest take. My God. Like, is your brain stuck on stupid? Like, just give it the benefit of the doubt that this person is a bot that somebody created with no outside human experience whatsoever. For all you know, it could be a chat bot. I don't even know. But fans are allowed to be disappointed. They're allowed to express it. And if a wave of people all happen to agree, or the majority of them happen to agree that the writing has gone off a cliff, maybe, this is crazy, that could be the case. Doesn't have to be a hate campaign, dumbass. Maybe it's just earned criticism. Because every single person can't be wrong, right? Like I said with the example that I gave with the drink that I was selling in my hypothetical scenario, if the entire neighborhood's like, bro, we liked your first drink, but the second one is fucking ass, and I'm suddenly attacking these people, which if you really sit back objectively and think for a second, use that thing inside of your skull. I know, crazy, you have something inside there, right? It's supposed to be working. Use it, turn it on, and think for a second. What's more likely? That everyone is wrong about my product and I'm the only right one, or that I'm wrong and everybody who is saying that they hate it while liking my other products actually are being honest about how they feel, which only serves to help me in the long run? It's not trolling. The people don't even know what trolling means. I feel like they're trying to be edgy or something by using a term that everybody else uses, and they don't even know what it means. And at this point, I believe articles like this, they're trolling, because holy shit, at this point, these companies should just go bankrupt, honestly, and make some room for people who are actually good at storytelling and actually care about what their audience wants to watch. And maybe these articles or media outlets will stop taking up space and make some room for actual human beings with a shred of real thought. The thing is, I don't have an issue with people expressing their opinions and supporting the show if they genuinely like it. But invalidating everybody else's opinion simply because you don't agree is next level hypocrisy and peak narcissism, or peak delusion, one of the two. Let people enjoy things and let people hate things. Nobody had this fire for the first season, and you can tell based on the reviews. See, Last of Us Season 2, user score is 4.3. And as I've shown before in previous videos that I did, Season 1, 6.6. I think it was a little higher than that. So even though there were people that didn't like it, most people liked it despite its issues, and I was one of them. Even though I made fun of it, it was still a fun time. And, I mean, for the first half of it anyway. And if you don't believe me, you can look back at a review I did 2 years ago. See, 2 years ago, The Last of Us show another notch in the belt of game to TV adaptations. Many were thrilled and also concerned when they heard that The Last of Us was getting a TV show. But I'm happy to report that at this moment in time, when this video was made, I'm not sorry that it came out. It definitely had its issues, which I'm going to talk about, but I think we can give it a passing grade for being a decent adaptation. If you're wondering where this video was, I actually privated it because it got low reviews and it was messing with the algorithm for some reason, but I made it public again just so you guys could see my full-fledged review of Season 1 of The Last of Us. Everything I thought of that season is laid out honestly in that video, which I will attach to this one. And I even ended that review, though, like by saying the show was saved by the end of Season 1. So then knowing that, are you going to be consistent with calling people like me a troll, even though I admitted the writing issues or other issues of Season 1, you know, that they were still there, but I still enjoyed it and I think that it was a good adaptation or a good show and it was decent? Or do people only get the title of trolls when we as consumers say we don't like the product that you're giving us? It's almost like you're forcing us to like it or else. And I really believe that it would be a freaking Hunger Games situation if people like the so-called fake-ass journalists that write these articles had any ounce of power. Because they probably just punish us for speaking out or leaving our opinion on something that just doesn't look good to us. Or more so, something that doesn't make them look good. There's a word for that. There's actually plenty of words for it. And I find it hilarious that people like this will use that word to insult the audience frequently without realizing the irony. That the word applies to them and their backwards thinking behavior. Because people like the ones that write these articles are so open to other thoughts and people having differing opinions from theirs, right?